I mean,
Okay, if you bring it up a little bit.
This one with the plastic in front looks better than without the plastic.
Okay.
There's a quote unattributed that says, staging an opera is the most complicated and greatest endeavor of mankind with the possible exception of war. We can see it from all the work that it takes to achieve something as complicated and ambitious as a world premiere of a new work, all stemming from a relatively small independent production.
I'm playing Rossini Perduto, which is a really fun character to play. Usually you don't play the composer in an opera, which as an opera singer is really interesting to navigate more into Rossini's life.
Rossini was born in 1792 in Pesaro. He began composing operas at an early age. He wrote 39 operas in 20 years.
Rossini was a highly productive, spontaneous, brilliant composer, and he was so adroit, so fluent in the style that he created that he achieved enormous success.
By the time he had written The Barber of Seville in 1816, he was the undisputed king of Italian opera. His major achievement was probably his final opera, William Tell, and then, before turning 37 years old, he retired.
When he reached the peak of his career, he just dropped everything.
It is this mystery that provoked the creation of Rossini Perduto. Casa Italiana organizes hundreds of events. It is part of our mission to go beyond our walls. So it was a great opportunity for us to become the principal sponsors of the world premiere of Rossini Perduto.
I suppose you'd like to know how this opera came about. It all goes back to Alexandre Dumas. I stumbled across a series of texts that Dumas published in a French newspaper. He describes a dinner he had with Rossini in Bologna.
He proposes a story that could be the basis for an opera. Rossini seems enthusiastic. Of course, this opera was never made, was never written.
So presumptuously, I said, well, if Dumas didn't write the libretto, maybe I should. I know it's a little presumptuous, but but I said, let me give it a shot, okay? One day, a young colleague of mine comes along and says, I'd like you to meet David Winkler. He is looking for a libretto. Do you by any chance know someone who has an Italian libretto? And I said, actually, I do know someone. And that's when we started.
This particular libretto is a lengthy work of lyric poetry. It's really one long poem. So you study the libretto, you live with it, you read it several times a day after day, until it begins to become part of you. And at a certain point, you begin to sort of hear things in your mind that follows the language and the poetry.
David Winkler is for sure a serious composer, very deep, but he has his own sarcastic way to be in music. And was very interesting work on that and find a way to combine with Rossini's soul and with the libretto by Luigi Ballerini.
Can we bring it a little bit up, please?
Yep.
So we can see the face. Perfect. Love it.
I have very strong opinions about everything, and sometimes a little bit too much.
Idea brillante, mio caro Dumas.
Idea brillante, mio caro Dumas. Non dire altro.
Non dire altro.
The most important thing for me is how my actors, in this case my singers, connect to the text.
Grab them. Head up. They come up and let them drop.
Part of their job is to find the story, to arrive knowing what they are talking about.
Act 1 takes place in the afterlife, in a setting that is similar to a television talk show.
Is a discussion among people who knew Rossini, Wagner, Beethoven, Stendhal, Dumas.
Minosse is a TV conductor, and his job is to maneuver the discussion between different characters. We decided to characterize this character as the controversial figure, Italian figure that is Bruno Vespa. The point of Minosse is more to get the drama and the ratings than discovering the truth behind the main question of the opera.
What I think makes Isabella Cobran so unique is how independent she was for the time. Before she met Rossini, she actually was debuting at La Scala at age 22.
Cobran was the soprano of her generation, a fantastic voice adored by opera audiences throughout Europe. Rossini wrote over a dozen roles exclusively for her.
Rossini and Cobran had gotten married, but then soon after they got divorced because of an affair that Rossini had with Pelissier, who is another character in the opera. Cobran really does not want to let go of Rossini, and so that kind of gives some nuance to her struggles and why she has the dramatic choices that she has in the opera.
Act 2, we go to the moment in which Rossini and Dumas are working on a new opera that will bring Rossini out of retirement.
Dumas, friend of Rossini, he's a writer, and he is here rooting for his friend. Wanting him to compose, to not stop, to motivate him to actually keep writing.
In this opera, we are trying to show this both aspect of Rossini. In the first and part of the third act, we're trying a little bit to show what he truly thinks. And in the second act, we are showing this mask that he created in order to face all these questions that he doesn't want to really answer.
The third act is the opera within an opera. It's the opera itself that Rossini and Dumas have presumably been working on.
The third act, it's expository, it is comedic, it is melodramatic, it is tragic, it is all those things. But we don't really find out exactly why Rossini stopped composing.
The idea is to see the impediment that an artist can find when he has reached a peak moment of greatness, and then he's afraid of continuing.
In the history of opera composers, Rossini's decision to retire at the height of his career remains one of the greatest mysteries. Rossini lived another 40 years after this retirement from the stage, and Rossini Perduto is a journey into what could have been, but wasn't.